Well, thank you, Chair Keating, Ranking Member Fitzpatrick, Chair Connolly, and Representative Scott for the opportunity to testify today. I will submit a written testimony, like my colleagues, for the record, and summarize that testimony in my comments today, if that is acceptable to the Chair.
Yes, proceed.
NATO must adapt for a new era of great power competition. That is the message that a high-level group of experts, which I had the honor to co-chair, recently delivered to Secretary General Stoltenberg. The changes needed at NATO are serious yet feasible, but the hour is late and the opponents of the West are gaining in strength. The costs of failure would be high. What makes NATO's adaptation so urgent is the scale of change that is underway in the international balance of power. By 2030, China's GDP is projected to be greater than that of the United States and European Union combined. Russia remains a vengeful actor with a modernized conventional military and one of the world's largest nuclear arsenals. Both China and Russia are led by despotic regimes that seek to undermine the democratic political order of the American Republic and our allies. The main task facing NATO is to consolidate the Atlantic Alliance for an era of strategic simultaneity, in the words of our report. An era in which the West will face concurrent pressure from two large state actors in opposite directions from the Euro-Atlantic area. This new environment presents two chief dangers, one political and one military. The political danger is that China and Russia will use their size and power to divide, isolate, and manipulate American allies. China enjoys an enormous power disparity vis-a-vis individual Western states. Russia has a well-practiced repertoire of tools with which to cow smaller states. The danger is that our rivals will subtly deliquesce the bonds between the United States and its allies, rendering NATO less cohesive, even as it continues to exist in name. The military danger is that China and Russia will generate simultaneous crises that strain or exceed our capacity to handle. Under the 2018 National Defense Strategy, the United States replaced the two-war standard with an emphasis on fighting one war with China in conditions in which it is unlikely to possess escalation dominance. This means that more and more U.S. military resources will go to the Indo-Pacific, and that the United States will prioritize developing capabilities for Asian maritime rather than European land combat environments. These two dangers provide a baseline for how the United States should think about NATO's role. First, NATO needs a strategy that matches the world of the next decade. Last week, NATO leaders agreed to our report's recommendation to update the strategic concept. The United States should use this process to bring NATO into alignment with U.S. global strategic requirements by enhancing European allies' conventional deterrence vis-a-vis Russia and affirming NATO's role in dealing with those aspects of Chinese behavior that affect Euro-Atlantic security. Second, NATO needs better tools to deal with the challenge from China. While it is inadvisable to push NATO to play a military role in Asia, it is in our interest and squarely within the remit of NATO's mandate for it to address Chinese activities that impact military readiness, interoperability, and secure communication in SACEUR's area of responsibility. Third, the United States must redouble efforts to improve burden sharing. It is reasonable to expect Europeans to field at least 50% of the conventional capabilities and enablers for securing the European theater to free up U.S. forces to focus on the Indo-Pacific region in the event of a major crisis. Fourth, NATO will need greater political cohesion to meet the growing threats from China and Russia. Efforts at European strategic autonomy should be welcomed insofar as they aid in meeting established NATO capability targets, but firmly resisted insofar as they deepen the bifurcation of the West into competing blocs. But the threats to Western cohesion are not only or primarily institutional. As articulated in the North Atlantic Treaty, NATO exists to safeguard the freedom, common heritage, and civilization of its peoples, founded on the principles of democracy, individual liberty, and rule of law. NATO should develop a center for democratic resilience to resist foreign influence in allied public institutions, and it should address head-on the tendency of some allies to politicize NATO decision-making in ways that benefit its rivals. It is in the American interest to preserve and strengthen NATO. Even as the United States shifts focus to the Pacific, the transatlantic alliance remains the seat of the free West and the foundation of American strength in the world. We have a window of opportunity to make the needed changes, If NATO seizes this opportunity, I'm confident the transatlantic alliance can deal with the profound challenges it faces in the coming decade. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.